Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, I mean, it's an important one. We're going to have a look at everything that's happening regarding the war between FTX and Binance and the impacts that that is and could continue to have on the crypto market. The likes of 𝗕𝗘𝗪 getting involved and all sorts going on. But I also kind of want to go through my theory of how we should be approaching the markets currently. And I'm really eager to get your views and opinions in the comments below. So this is a really important video. It's going to be a fairly long video. I'll try to timestamp it, but it's definitely going to be worth watching because, you know, at the moment, the markets are very volatile and I don't think that we're finished with the volatility just yet. I think that we've got the potential for it to get far worse. And I really want you to hear out my views, my opinions on how I kind of feel that the market's going to play out. And then let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are. Are you aligned? Are you not aligned? Really want to get a bit of a debate going, jump in our Discord. Link is in the description of the video. It's absolutely free to join. It's the hub of everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto, and we're trying to keep people really safe in this crypto market, right? And for me, immersing yourself in a fantastic crypto community in a recession bear market is really, really important. And why is it important? Because you don't need to make the same mistakes that others have made. Our community is very, very supportive, and ultimately, you know, you can learn from many people's experience of loss. So you don't have to. So, you know, I really do encourage people to jump in the Discord. You've got nothing to lose. It's free. Link is in the description of the video. So let's get down to the desktop and let's sort of go through everything that I've got together, everything to do with the current state of the market, not just crypto. We're going to look at, you know, the financial macro environment as well, and we're going to dig into FTX, Binance, all that wonderful stuff. So yeah, a bit of a long one. But I do think that it's beneficial, and that's why I've kind of, you know, hit the thumbnail up like it is. You know, please watch this because I think that, you know, it's an important one. Anyway, let's get down to the desktop. Okay, so we're going to start having a look at the state of the dirty market at the moment, under $1 billion. Now, we have been talking about FTX, the other assets that I believe are going to be impacted by everything that's going on with FTX, Alameda Research, Binance, and so forth. We've been ahead of this, you know, for a few days. We've covered this, you know, in some depth in the Discord and for Patreon members. And, you know, there's a few people that took up the suggestion that, you know, potentially Solana and FTT were good short opportunities. So there's some very happy Patreon members. Now we're down 4.72%. For the total market cap of all crypto at $979.98 billion. I do think that that's going to get worse before it gets, you know, massively better. You know, we've been talking about the fact that the lower lows haven't come in yet. Now, this is coming from somebody that called the bottom in June, and then I was like, actually, I don't think that that is the actual bottom, right? So, you know, do you want to take your opinions of people that haven't called shit all, or people that have actually called it correctly and then have gone, actually, I don't think that it is the bottom. You know, I know where I would be getting my information from, but Bitcoin below 20k at 19,715, down 5.04% at the time of recording. And all those, you know, moon boys talking about, you know, we're going to the moon and the bear market is over at 21k or 21.4, you know, have probably got a little bit of egg on their face. But this isn't, you know, to gloat. There is an awful lot going on. The market is seriously red, waking up to things like, you know, FTT being down 30%, incoming 50%, you know, imminent, minus 50% people are calling out. Now, I don't know whether I align with that, but, you know, all these memes, I mean, you know, quite funny, really, to see all the memes going on. But, you know, with all the jokes and stuff aside, there is an awful lot going on that, you know, is impacting people financially. And, you know, that isn't a joke, right? We've got here, take your money out of FTX. Sam funds political, can't get my words out today. Sam funds political agendas against your freedom and your DeFi/Bitcoin. look, we've been talking about this, and you can go through the podcast channel and the Cheeky Crypto main channel, and you can see what our views have been on everything that's happening with regards to Sam. I've always kind of said I don't like his the way he manages his businesses, the likes of Alameda Research and that sort of stuff. And there's a bit of a flywheel effect happening, and it's definitely worth jumping down our Discord to read into far more detail. And we're going to come on to FTX, the movement of money or crypto, and get into the detail so you are fully aware of what is actually happening behind the scenes, right? Some wallet analysis and all that sort of stuff. So stay with us till the end, because it's going to be eye-opening. But before we do, I want to get into my thoughts on where I think we are going to be heading, right? And why Nick and myself, although have two very different approaches. Nick's approach is very analytical, looking at the data, and very data driven. For me, I'm more of look at the landscape financially, look at all the other markets, listen acutely to what people in power are telling us, because sometimes it's in plain sight and people completely miss it. Now, I think we've got a high potential chance that we could have civil wars. I think that there's and I'm talking in the US, UK, I'm talking the West, right? I think that the wages haven't really increased significantly since the 80s, right? And we've seen inflation and the cost of everything go up by like over 240%. It might even be much higher than that in that same time period. So you look, throughout history, you always get to a point where there's civil unrest, because actually, even if you look at 2021, 2022, we've seen money drained from the masses to very few very wealthy individuals, and that wealth gap has widened significantly, and that can't continue to happen, because that is the point. It gets to a point where you start to see that civil unrest, and I think we're not that far away from it. So I do think that the macro landscape is going to look far worse than it is currently today. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that in the comments below. But I wanted to sort of touch on some of the other things that we look at, right? Because we don't just pull this shit out of our ass and talk about it just to get clicks. We are trying to keep our community safe. This is why I highlighted to our members and the Discord community about FTX and what was happening, and Alameda Research, all that stuff, trying to give people as much ample opportunity to position themselves so they don't see financial loss. This is really important to Nick and myself, that people are successful in this space. And if you want to be successful, and even if you don't agree with everything that we say on this channel, and we're never gonna be right all the time, but like if we're right a lot more than we're wrong, then that's going to be beneficial. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, tap that bell, select all the notifications so you don't miss one of our videos, right? Nick's technical analysis has been on point an awful lot, and I'm not trying to pitch it to you, but I am, and Nick is, we're here for the benefit of our community. The only reason we see the success of our channel and our brand coming to fruition is if our community is very, very successful, right? So very transparent. We have transparency reports in our Discord and all that sort of stuff, so you've got a really good idea. But so let's get into this right now. This is really scary stuff, and I think people need to hear it, right? And you can let me know your thoughts and opinions. But despite the recent positive but short-lived swing in the public markets, Nick and myself have been calling this, I will add, we feel the trend going forward remains clear. As Nick and myself have been saying, nothing's changed just yet. As markets continue to process the sustained impact of raising rates, growth will further slow and borrowing costs will rise, job losses will mount, and the assets, or in most cases the values of the assets, will decline. The recession, with which hindsight will likely show start mid-year, will continue into 2023, with the risk of more severe decline dependent on the total magnitude of future interest rates increases, right? So look, this is really, really important stuff that people understand, right? Because there's more to this. So let's go take a look at the rest of it before I sort of wash up with my thoughts and opinions and move on to the FTX stuff, because it's so important. Right, so this is the alpha content part, right? Now, I know that my content isn't everybody's cup of tea, but listen to this, please. Like, you know, I encourage you to listen to what I'm going to say. Not financial advice. Go do your own research, but this is really, really important that people get their heads around, right? So we're going into a Fed-induced recession, right? That is clear. That is something that, you know, you need to be aware of. The current inflation environment presents investors with a uniquely difficult challenge, because to combat this inflation, the Federal Reserve must adopt the explicit mandate to drive down asset values. The Fed's goal is to reduce demand, and to do that, people and companies need to feel poorer. So the Fed is trying to make us feel poorer, and basically they're gonna, or the goal is to reduce the value of assets, right? And that is across the board. So we're going to see the values of crypto plummet. We're going to see stocks plummet. We're going to see property prices plummet, metal prices plummet. Need to be reading this stuff and acknowledging it. Go do your research. Hear what I'm saying to you. Nick and myself have been saying for some time the bottom isn't in. I called the bottom in June. I changed my mind and said no. It isn't the bottom, right? The landscape does not feel good, right? Now, let's sort of go into the details here, right? This is known as the wealth effect, and moving interest rates up and down is the primary method by which the Fed aims to achieve, you know, completing this task. But adjusting interest rates is an indirect tool, often with lagging impacts. So the Fed often have to overshoot, and we've seen this occasionally, in order to ensure they achieve their goal. For investors, living through this process is like trying to paddle upstream in the middle of a hurricane in nothing but a small boat. Now, given the reality, and this is the kicker, this is the most important part that I want people to listen to. I'm really passionate that you listen to this. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. But the reality, the question most investors face is not how much money are they going to make, but instead, how can they best avoid losing money amidst the avalanche of losses occurring across nearly every asset class. So this is really, really scary stuff that people need to be paying attention to. We've got FTX. You know, it was only a week ago, right? We've got all these moon boys talking about we're going to, 100K and all this other BS, right? And, basically they're doing you a disservice. They know they're either stupid and have no idea, or they, don't care about you and they haven't got your best interests at heart. Nick and myself are being very, very transparent, very, very clear about the market that we're operating in, and the fact that we don't think the bottom is in. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll hold our hands up and say we're wrong. But I would rather be wrong telling people and warning people that, actually expect, more losses before we, come out of the other end. I'd rather be in that position than telling everybody it's going to the moon when it's going, much lower. Like, that is kind of my stance on it, right? But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. We're looking at the whole market, not just, the crypto market, and that is really important. So let's get to the FTX stuff. The FTX token plummets as market fears possible Alameda, I guess like implosion is probably the way I would describe it, rather than this shocking headline. But FTT has declined nearly 20% over the course of an hour, with Solana down 17% and Serum SRM off 10%. Now, we did post a whole host of different altcoins that were potentially going to be impacted by everything that was happening with FTX. We did this because we care about our community and we want our community to be successful. Keep banging that drum, but it needs to be said. But let's have a look at what's actually going on. Binance to liquidate its entire FTX token holding after recent revelations. Again, I'm not going to cover these in huge detail because I know all the other influencers have now covered it already. We've got Binance CEO declines Alameda's bid to buy his company's FTX tokens. So just to give you a bit more of a rounded view and on this particular article here, basically Binance came out and said that they were going to sell or liquidate their entire FTX FTT tokens that they hold, right? Alameda Research has offered to buy them, over like behind closed doors at a really good price, because there's a real inherent issue that if Binance drops it, on the public market, that is not going to be good for Alameda Research and FTX. Look, Binance have come out and said that they're going to do it slowly. They're going to do it least amount of impact on the market as possible. If that was the case, like, the question I've got is, would they not just do the behind the closed door buy option? I don't know. Or is it that Binance are doing everybody in retail an absolute blinder, and Sam, who I don't like, and I'm trying not to let that seep into what we're covering here, is he really bad for crypto? And that's why Binance want to do it publicly and get rid of it. Now, Sam has come out and said a competitor is trying to make us trying to go after us with false claims, right? FTX is fine, all assets are fine, and he goes into the details. FTX has enough to cover clients' holdings. They're not holding withdrawals or anything like that. So yeah, it's really interesting. And yeah, look, there's more. Binance has 8 billion ETH in cold wallets 1 and 2. Again, there's a lot going on between these groups right now. I've been going through Twitter. We've got a whale transfer 272.516 FTT 6 million to Binance, and 45,000 FTT $1 million to FTX exchange just now. So this was like 9 hours ago. Now, what I would say is 𝗕𝗘𝗪, which is part of Bybit, they obviously hold some FTT, and we have seen some on-chain analysis where basically they've been dumping, FTX have been dumping. So basically the community DAO has basically requested that Alameda Research basically give all the details of their wallets and activities to check whether promises have been kept. And basically, if they don't do that, then 𝗕𝗘𝗪 is going to dump FTT that they hold. So let's keep an eye on this. It's all still developing. We've got Alameda transferred 93.5 bit, and again, this is on-chain analysis. This is what it sort of all comes down to. Thanks for the swift response, Caroline. This gives us a lot of confidence to the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 community. So there's a lot going on here. If we have a look, not that one, we've got Alameda Research received another 500 bit, 195,514 just now. Look, there's people keeping an eye on all of the transfers that are happening. Alameda Research transferred 5 million USDC to Binance just now. Last hour transferred 6 million USDC to Binance was 1 hour ago. And then obviously, you've got all the details here, right? And all the analysis. So this is stuff that we're keeping an eye on, and obviously we'll keep the community updated in the Discord. Alameda Research received 93.5 million bits, 182.4 million on-chain. Again, you don't need to sell FTT anymore. And this was a little while ago. Yes, Alameda is dumping bit. On-chain data shows that Alameda Research transferred 4,637,839 bit, 1.6 million to FTX exchange 3 hours ago. And you can see the details here. So look, we've got to be, aware of everything that's going on. There is powers at play here that are looking to either take out a competitor or take out somebody that's really bad for crypto. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I really wanted to do this video. I apologize if it's not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, I would stay away from several different projects when it comes to FTX. Now, for me, you know, some of those projects are the likes of Solana. FTT would be another, you know, pretty good you know, example of a project to stay away from. Let me find the other ones that I've said to stay away from. SRM, I called that a few days ago. Maps, OXY, FIDA, just to list a few more for you there. These ones, for me, could be potentially impacted by everything that's happening, and are probably worth staying away from. And you know, do you really want your crypto on any exchange right now? Probably not. So do check out our link for Ledger in the description of the video. You know, it's a fantastic device. Nick and myself use it. Really do rate it. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you took something from it. You know, just know that everything that I do here is coming from a good place because I want you to be successful. If you enjoy this sort of content, mash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tap in that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.